How did a country under attack become one of the most advanced drone warfare nations in just 2 years? What new drones are giving Ukraine the edge on the battlefield? Russia expected to march into Kyiv in 3 days. Instead, they have spent over 700 days trying to counter Ukrainian drone strikes, watching as oil refineries burn, military bases go up in flames, and soldiers scramble to escape incoming UAVs. In recent weeks, we have seen even the introduction of camels and donkeys as pack animals into the Russian army. What's next? Squirrels? Pigeons? Oh wait, no, that was the Ukrainian bioweapons program, militarized pigeons on mass scale. Ukraine's drone warfare has disrupted logistics, destroyed high-value targets, and forced Russia to rethink its strategy. But Ukraine is not the only side adapting. Russia has responded aggressively. While Ukrainian drone strikes have inflicted significant damage, Russia has been scaling up its own drone arsenal, improving countermeasures and ramping up electronic warfare to neutralize Ukraine's UAV advantage. This war is no longer one-sided. It is a battle of innovation, adaptation, and endurance. Hello my friends, my name is Artur Rehi and I am from Estonia. These videos are possible thanks to Buy Me a Coffee monthly members, and to show my gratitude and love to the monthly members, I am now going to butcher 5 names with my Estonian pronunciation. Ear bleeding is guaranteed. Let's go. Kristopher Tale, Ursula Campos, Telibor Hudekek, Germany, Karhu Valkki Kunther, what a name. Tunkin Matikkiner. Thank you, Mr. Tikkiner, and each and every one of you for becoming a monthly member. If you like the videos, links in the description below. In 2022, Ukraine had just 7 certified drone models. By 2024, that number jumped to 67. Manufactured by nearly 200 domestic companies. Ukraine has scaled up production at an unprecedented pace. By 2024, the target was set at 1 million drones in a year, averaging over 83,000 drones per month. For comparison, this is more than the entire European NATO alliance produces in a year. But quantity alone does not win wars. Russia is not falling behind. It is adapting and evolving rapidly. Ukraine and Russia are now in a fast-moving technological arms race, where innovation, speed and strategy will determine who comes out ahead. While Ukraine has been scaling up production, Russia has also been making massive strides in drone warfare. Initially relying on Iranian Shahed drones, Russia has since developed and produced several domestic UAV models to expand its offensive and defensive capabilities. Russia has continued to rely on the Iranian-made Shahed drones, deploying them in waves against Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. While these drones are often intercepted by Ukraine's air defenses, they still cause significant damage when they hit. Russia has modified the Shahed 136, increasing its range and payload. The newest models are capable of carrying larger explosive warheads and flying at lower altitudes to avoid detection. In July 2024, Russia began producing its own domestic version of the Shahed, reducing reliance on Iranian imports and increasing UAV deployment efficiency. Funny aspect about the Shahed is that it is supposed to be extremely cheap compared to more high-tech drones. I mean, it has a diesel engine, and it is cheap. But Ukrainians destroyed 8 out of 10 Shahed drones in 2024. 8/10, like most of them, like 80%, right? Meaning only 2 out of 10 Shaheds reached their targets, making the price per 2 hits a whopping 10 drones combined price, rendering this mass-producible diesel engine drone as expensive per hit as the millions costing Kalibr missile. The Lancet drone, though, is one of Russia's most effective loitering munitions, used to target Ukrainian artillery, armored vehicles and air defense systems. Unlike Shahed drones, which strike infrastructure, Lancet UAVs are tactically deployed on the front lines, making them a key weapon in Russia's drone warfare strategy. Lancet drones have successfully destroyed multiple Ukrainian M777 howitzers, radar stations, and even Western-supplied tanks. Ukraine has struggled to counter them, as they are much harder to intercept than Shahed drones. Also, they look mean with their X-shaped wings, like the guys from Star Wars. A coincidence? I don't think so. Early in the war, Russian FPV drone units were considered inferior due to poor quality components and high failure rates. That has changed dramatically in the past year. By mid-2024, Russia massively ramped up its FPV drone production with entire battalions specializing in drone warfare. Russia's FPV drones are now as effective as Ukrainian units, with lower costs and mass production capabilities, allowing for thousands of drone strikes per month. FPV drones are now used for both reconnaissance and attack missions. Ukrainian crews even use FPVs as stationary mines, parking their drones on a Russian logistics supply road and just waiting until a Pukanka van, the Scooby-Doo loaf truck, drives by. Then the drone pilot springs the drone into life and the drone charges into the loaf truck, just like a flying anti-tank mine. Russia has begun experimenting with AI-assisted drone swarms, similar to Ukraine's plan. Both sides are doing it. While still in development, AI-controlled drones could provide battlefield intelligence, coordinated attacks, and overwhelm enemy defenses. If successful, these drone swarms could change the dynamic of modern warfare. But now, let's take a look at some of Ukraine's specific and most successful drone models which are in mass production right now. The AN-196 Lyuty is a long-range kamikaze drone designed to strike deep in Russia. It has a range of whopping 2,000 kilometers, meaning it can reach Moscow. It carries a 75-kilogram warhead and costs an estimated $200,000 per unit. In March 2024, a Lyuty drone hit the Tuapse oil refinery in southern Russia, causing an explosion and shutting down one of Russia's largest fuel processing plants. This was part of Ukraine's broader strategy to cripple Russian fuel supplies. In July 2024, another wave of Ukrainian drones, including the Lyuty, targeted once again Rosneft's Tuapse refinery. Russia claimed that 75 Ukrainian drones were intercepted overnight, but the attack somehow still sparked a massive fire at the facility, highlighting Ukraine's ability to bypass Russian air defenses. In September 2024, multiple Lyuty drones struck a military airbase in Rostov, destroying several Russian aircraft. This attack demonstrated Ukraine's ability to strike well beyond the front lines. However, Russia's air defenses have also adapted. Many of these long-range drones are now intercepted before reaching their targets. Advanced radar systems, electronic warfare, and new drone countermeasures have increased Russia's ability to neutralize Ukrainian UAVs. Ukraine must continually modify its drones to outmaneuver Russian defenses. The next drone we're going to look at is the AQ-400 Skith. It's Ukraine's low-cost kamikaze drone, designed for mass production. It is built with plywood and lightweight materials, making it easy to assemble. It has a 750-kilometer range, carries 43 kilograms of explosives, and costs around $15,000 per unit, so incredibly cheap. The Skith's biggest strength is its affordability. Instead of relying on billion-dollar weapon systems, Ukraine is proving that small, cheap drones can cause massive damage. However, Russia has intensified its electronic warfare tactics, making it harder for Ukrainian operators to guide drones to their targets. Jamming equipment disrupts communications, forcing operators to find new ways to bypass Russian defenses. Now, Now finally we get to my favorite, the Balyanitia. Sorry for the pronunciation. Balyanitia. This is a loaf, bread loaf in Ukrainian. I love the name of it. Balyanitia drone is Ukraine's equivalent of a cruise missile. It is a turbojet powered, making it much faster than most UAVs. It has a range of 600 to 700 kilometers and carries a heavy explosive warhead. The cost is at least $1 million per unit, which makes it still a cost-effective alternative to expensive Western cruise missiles. This drone has been instrumental in Ukraine's deep strike operations, targeting military command centers, energy facilities, and air bases. However, while it is effective, it lacks the advanced precision guidance systems of Western missiles such as the Storm Shadow or American JASSM. As I mentioned before, Balyanitia means bread loaf in Ukrainian. So both the Russians and Ukrainians are using bread loaves in this war. Russians have their Bukhanka logistic Scooby-Doo van, and Ukrainians have their jet rocket loaf drone. Damn, they both must love bread so much. Another major advancement is the Sea Baby naval drone, which has changed warfare at the sea. It has a range of over 1,000 kilometers and carries up to 850 kilograms of explosives. Damn, never seen that much explosives in my life. But I've never seen explosives in my life. These drones have been responsible for sinking multiple Russian ships on the Black Sea and forcing Russia to rethink its naval strategy. The impact has been significant. The Russian Navy has been forced to move its fleet away from Sevastopol, reducing its ability to launch missile strikes on Ukraine. However, Russia has responded by increasing harbor defenses, deploying floating barriers, and using new electronic countermeasures to intercept incoming naval drones. The battle for dominance at the sea is far from over. By the way, Russians also use this kind of drone warfare defense system, just the Ka-52, making circles around the harbor with a guy with a machine gun inside. As soon as they see a approaching Ukrainian Sea Baby drone, they open fire. It's proven to be quite effective, actually. They just kind of shoot Ukrainian Sea Babies with machine guns. That's their anti-drone tactic. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's 50-60. But there's another sea drone, Ukraine's Mykola uncrewed surface vessel, or USV, has forced the Russian Navy to rethink its entire Black Sea strategy. These maritime drones are compact, autonomous, and heavily armed, designed to attack warships, supply convoys, and even ports. With an operational radius of up to 400 kilometers and a top speed of 80 kilometers per hour, Mykola drones have become a persistent threat to Russian naval forces. On October 29, 2023, Ukraine used Mykola drones and UAVs to attack the Russian Navy at Sevastopol, damaging 2 warships, the frigate Admiral Makarov and the minesweeper Ivan Golubets. This forced the Russian Navy to withdraw even further into the Black Sea. Damn, the Russian submarine fleet is expanding in an explosive rate. Surface vessels turned into submarines one by one. By the time the war ends, Russia will have the largest submarine fleet in the world on the Black Sea. So much careless smoking. Unlike traditional naval drones, Mykola prioritizes stealth and speed over defensive armor, making it difficult for Russian warships to intercept before impact. Each unit costs around $250,000, making it cheaper than guided missiles, but just as effective. Meanwhile, NATO has been working with Ukraine to enhance its drone resilience. Western electronic warfare specialists are assisting Ukraine in developing counter-jamming techniques, alternative navigation systems, and encrypted communication methods. Drone warfare was relatively limited in the early months of the invasion. Ukraine initially relied on modified commercial drones for reconnaissance and light attacks. But by mid-2023, Ukrainian engineers began mass-producing kamikaze drones. The turning point came in 2024, when Ukraine's decentralized drone production model allowed for rapid innovation and large-scale deployment. At the same time, Russia learned from its early setbacks and began mass-producing its own UAVs, marking the beginning of a full-scale drone arms race. The process of building modern military drones varies, but both Ukraine and Russia rely on a combination of commercial, off-the-shelf components and specialized military hardware. They combine these two. Most Ukrainian drones are built in decentralized workshops and factories across the country, allowing for quick adaptation and mass production. When I was in Kyiv 8 times in 23 and 24, I visited many of these production facilities. You would not recognize them from outside. It's just another abandoned building like the 100 buildings next to it in an abandoned area of the city. You go inside with your fingerprint on the wall, on the door somewhere, and boom, suddenly it's a many-layered, many stories tall drone production facility that you could not recognize from the sky, from the street, anywhere. It's genius what they do there. Frame and body materials are chosen based on the drone's purpose. A Ukrainian drone like the AQ-400 Skith are made of lightweight plywood and composite materials. This keeps costs low while ensuring that drone remains difficult to detect by radar. High-end models like the Balyanice cruise missile drone use carbon fiber and reinforced polymer to withstand high-speed flight and explosive payloads. I did many campaigns for the Ukrainian Armed Forces. In one of the campaigns, and my biggest ones, we fundraised for the production of the Needle drones by GUR, Ukrainian Military Intelligence. Needle drone also used carbon fiber and more high-end materials because the speed was 200 kilometers per hour. It had to withstand the winds, and that when you're turning in that speed, enormous pressure goes to the wings of the drone. It has to be lightweight but very strong. Some kamikaze drones, like the Balyanice, use turbojet engines, allowing them to reach speeds of over 800 kilometers per hour. Other UAVs, such as the reconnaissance and attack drones, often use electric or gasoline-powered motors for longer flight times. Many Ukrainian drones are equipped with GPS guidance and AI-assisted flight control. This allows UAVs to fly pre-programmed routes and adjust their trajectory mid-flight. Russia has been attempting to counter this with electronic warfare, forcing Ukraine to develop backup guidance systems such as inertial navigation. Ukraine uses 3D printing and modular designs to quickly assemble drones, making it easy to replace damaged parts. And this is what we were looking into with the campaigns. Also, we were talking with the GUR leadership to establish mass production of the Needle drone that we fundraised for. It was supposed to be mass produced in Canada with a modular system. So we produce the parts in Canada, mass ship them to Ukraine, and they reassemble it there. This way we could avoid the military shipment, and it would just be a shipment of separate drone parts. But it didn't end up happening. In contrast, Russian drones like the Lancet loitering munition are mass-produced in centralized factories with standardized components. Meanwhile, Russia's partnership with Iran and China have deepened. Iran has supplied drone components to Russia, while China has reportedly provided dual-use technology that can be integrated into UAV production. These developments are reshaping the global military alliances and accelerating the weaponization of drones in modern conflicts. There is no clear winner yet. Ukraine dominates in mass production and rapid innovation, while Russia has significantly improved its drone warfare tactics and electronic countermeasures. Both sides continue to learn from each other, making this an ongoing technological battle. The big question is, what comes next? Ukraine is now producing drones faster than NATO. For Russia, this is a major challenge, forcing them to expand UAV production and countermeasures. For NATO, Ukraine's drone strategy is a blueprint for rapid military innovation. If Ukraine continues innovating, it could maintain its lead, but if Russia successfully scales its drone forces and countermeasures, the balance could shift. Can Ukraine maintain its drone dominance, or will Russia's massive and centralized drone production turn the tide of the war? Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, like and subscribe for more deep dives into Ukraine's military innovations. And if you haven't yet, sign up to be a monthly member of Buy Me a Coffee. Link is in the description below, and I might be butchering your name with my Estonian pronunciation in the next video. Until my next video, my friends, they will be every Monday and every Friday. Stay cool, and bye-bye.